Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn how to go about the cutting and sewing of this bubu with a tassel design at the front. If this looks like something you're interested in, kindly watch to the very end. I'm going to be making use of this crepe fabric. I have about 2.5 yards. You can get more than that depending on the size of the person you're making it for. Then you also need pieces of tassel, about 12 pieces or more, depending on how you want it. The first thing is to fold your fabric into 4, just like I have done here. So the first thing you want to do is to measure and mark your dress length, that is the length of the bubu, your preferred length. So then you are going to measure and mark like so, just like the way you see me doing. The length of this fabric is a bit longer than the length I needed, so I'm going to cut off the excess. Okay, so you take the bubu length plus the stitching allowance and the folding allowance on the hem, just like I'm doing here, and that is what. So I just hope you can see the lines. I do not want to leave a stain on this fabric because it is a bright color. This is an off-white, so I don't want to leave a stain on it, so that's why I'm using pencil. I guess we can see the line. So after which you are done with this, the next thing you want to do is to measure and mark the shoulder length and the sleeve length. As you can see, the length of my sleeve here is not that long, so if you want to make yours longer, you are going to measure up to where you want the bubu to stop. So here I'm going to exhaust all the fabric that I have here, and I have about 11 inches here. So from this point now, you go down by 1 inch and you connect back to the neck width. So for the neck width now, I'm going to take two different neckline, both the front and the back neckline together. So for the measurement, I use 3 inches by 1 inch for the back, 3 inches by 6.5 inches for the front. You can make yours deeper than that, but you just want to make sure that it is not too deep. Then you're going to connect to the shoulder slope. According to the style, the sleeve length gets to the elbow, but mine is not going to get to the elbow totally. So you decide on how long you want it to be. So after taking the measurements, I'm going to connect the back neckline with a round shape. Then I'm going to connect the front with a V neckline. I just hope you can see the lines. After this now, we are going to determine the sleeve opening. For the sleeve opening, you can take measurements. You can measure from your shoulder to your bust point area as a guide, and you can also decide on how wide you want the sleeve opening to be. So for this one, I'm using 11 inches, and from that point I'm going to go in by about 2 inches. What I'm trying to do here is just to give something like an hammer, so as to shape it a little bit. This is a free dress. You can just decide to measure from that point straight down to the bubu length, and you can also decide to measure your bust circumference divided by 4 plus about 4 to 5 inches is allowance. Okay, and you're going to connect from that point down to the dress length, and you can also just decide to just connect from the sleeve opening straight down. Then I'm going to start by cutting off the back neckline. After cutting out the back neckline, I'm going to cut off the excess around the sleeve opening like so, and I'm going to cut off the side. As you can see, I just have a little bit of curve around that part. I don't want it to be too deep. Okay, so I'm going to cut from here down to the bubu length. After that now, I'm going to separate the front and the back so that I'll be able to cut out the front neckline. After cutting out the neckline like this, the next thing we want to do is to cut out facing for both the front and the back. So this is how the V neckline is going to look like. Yours might be deeper than that. Okay, then you're going to be folding in about half an inch. So by the time you fold it half an inch, it will be more wider, so you don't want it to be too wide. We're going to cut out the facing just like the way we cut our regular facing. Round neckline for the back, then V for the front. So now we are going to cut out the facing for both the front and the back. I'm sure we know how to cut out the facing, but if not, I'm still going to show us how to cut the facing. So you're going to get a piece of fabric like so. You fold it into 2, and you're going to place your bodice on it. Fabric has to be on fold. Okay, so the folded edge of the fabric you want to use for facing and the folded edge of the actual fabric has to be together. Okay, so then you're going to trace it out. You're going to cut off the neckline. You cut out the shoulder slope. You measure how wide you want the facing to be. Then you cut out your preferred shape. So for the front neckline now, that one is going to be a bit different from that of the back because you are because we have a V neckline at the front. So definitely the fabric you're going to use for the facing is going to be wider and longer than that of the back, because the V neckline is deeper than the round neckline we have at the back. So the same way you fold your fabric again, and you place the folded edge on each other like so. Then you trace out the front neckline. So you secure it with a pin if necessary, because the fabric I'm working with is a bit slippery, so I had to pin all through. So you place it carefully like this, cutting out the exact shape you have on the neckline, because that is what we are trying to achieve. Okay, you cut it out, you cut out the shoulder slope, then you are also going to decide on how wide you want the facing to be at the wrong side. So once you're done cutting out the facing, you're going to place it on the actual fabric, right side facing each other. Okay, you're going to place it on it like this, and you're going to stitch down 0.5 allowance. You it with a pin and you stitch 0.5 stitching allowance. To fold the edge of your facing before you use a hemming stitch or hemming gum to hold it down. Place the fabric on each other like this, and you're going to use the facing to turn the shoulder, just like you see me doing. You pick up one of the facing, you flip it to the other side to turn around the back neckline or either the front neckline. You secure it with a pin, or you just hold it very tight when you're about to sew. So then you're going to stitch it down and flip it back to the front when you're done. So that is what I'm going to do on both sides, and after that now we're going to proceed to the. So now that I'm done with the facing, this is what it's going to look like. The next thing you want to do is to make sure that you secure it with either hemming stitch or hemming gum. Just find a way to secure the facing. So the next thing we're going to do now is to fold in the sleeve opening, that is the hem of the sleeve area. I'm going to fold in 1 inch on this hem. I already included it in my measurements, do not forget that. Then after that, I'm going to stitch down the side with about 0.5 or 0.75 sewing allowance. The highest you can do is 1 inch. Done sewing the side, and what I'm going to do next is to fold the down parts with the added allowance, and I'm going to stitch it around. After this, I'm going to iron it all around, and we are going to be attaching the tassel, which is going to be the last step for making this bubu. You can get any tassel of your choice. It's not a must you get black, just find a color that matches the color of your fabric. Okay, so this is the last and final step to making this bubu. I already iron it. What I'm trying to do here is just to arrange the tassel to see how it looks. So you are going to arrange as you prefer. You can just decide, you can just lay it down, arrange it first to see how it looks before you tack it down finally. So I'm going to try, just like you see me doing, I'm just trying to see how I can arrange it, and it's going to look nice. But automatically you're going to have one on the V neckline, then the others can be as you like. So guys, I'm going to be showing us how to attach the tassel now. You're going to get your thread and needle, of course, a matching color of thread with your tassel. And before that, you need to mark the points where you want to attach the tassel. As you can see, I just use a pencil to mark a little bit because I don't want to leave a stain on this, and at the same time I want to see where I want to attach it. So just find a way and drop a point, and you make sure that that point, your tassel is going to cover it anyways. So you start by bringing in the needle from the wrong side like so. You bring it out, then you place the tassel in between. And as for the length of the tassel, it can be as you prefer. So mine is going to be in between like this. So if you want yours to be longer, you tack it on this very point, and if you want it to be shorter, you bring it to this point depending on how you want it. So mine is going to be in between. I don't want it to be too long, I don't want it to be too short. So, and then once I'm satisfied with where I want it, then I'll start tacking it down. I just hope you can see how I'm bringing my needle from the back to the front, holding down the tassel. And make sure when you're doing this, just make sure you are careful with the fabric, hold it tight, and make sure you spread it as you're tacking. You keep spreading so that it does not bring your fabric together and that piece is just looking rumpled or something. And that's how you're going to continue. And once you're done, you make sure that you tie it for the very last time. You tie it very well, you tie the thread very well. Cut off the excess tassel. Careful, do not cut your fabric. So once you are done cutting out like this, you cut out the tassel, and that's it. Okay, so that's how you're going to continue, and you're going to do to everything. And this is what we have at the very end. You can have as many tassel as possible, and you can arrange the way you prefer. That is that about this tutorial. If you want yours to be longer, you can measure up to where you want it to be, to your elbow, to your wrist, and so on like that. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this tutorial. Do not forget to like this video, share it, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you are yet to do so. If there's anything you want me to know or you want me to do, or any tutorial at all, kindly drop in the comment section for me. Till we meet again in my next one. Bye bye.